Vacation is intended to provide employees with time away from work without the loss of income. But for organizations, managing vacation can appear complicated. And then when you add in the special rules and exceptions per province or jurisdictions, it can become overwhelming. Employees with limited exceptions are entitled to vacation regardless of their status. It doesn't matter if they are full-time, part-time, or casual, or if they're on a protected leave. Many jurisdictions in Canada legislate a minimum of 2 weeks of vacation time until the employee has completed their 5th year. Then they earn their 3rd week of vacation time. However, there are differences across provinces. It is important to note that employees continue to accrue vacation time when they are away from work because of a temporary layoff, sickness or injury, or a protected leave under the respective employment and labor standards. Now, what if an employee doesn't want to take their vacation time, or they just want to work without taking time off? This is referred to as foregoing vacation time. The purpose of vacation is to ensure employees take time off work. There are very limited provisions in legislation that allow an employer to take out vacation pay if the employee forgoes or does not take their vacation time. Employers may give up the right to vacation time, but not the right to vacation pay. If you are really unclear about whether or not you have to provide vacation, it's best practice to grant vacation, time, and pay to your employees.
Vacation is to be provided in both time and pay, with the differences depending upon the jurisdiction and considering the employer and employee preferences. Vacation time is earned by employees, and it's the time that the employee is entitled to be away from work, whereas vacation pay is based on the rate the employee is entitled to receive while on vacation. There are provisions in some employment standards that do allow vacation pay to be calculated and paid to employees, say, per pay period, if the employer and the employee agree. Now, this is important to note that even with such an agreement, the employees are still entitled to that vacation time. It's just unpaid when they take it. Vacation pay is calculated, as I mentioned, as a percentage of an employee's gross earnings. 4% of gross earnings where the vacation entitlement is 2 weeks, 6% where it's 3 weeks. Essentially, each week of vacation time equates to 2% of earnings as the vacation pay. Now, when it comes to vacation pay, there is clear requirements on when it is to be paid out. The default obligation is to pay vacation at the time that the time off is actually taken. Now, another option is to include vacation pay on each paycheck at the appropriate percentage. But to do this, in many provinces, as we mentioned, you do require the employee's agreement. When you are using this method, the hours that the employee is out of office on vacation are then unpaid because they've already received their accrued vacation pay. You want to be certain that the timing of paying out vacation is compliant with legislation, and then, if necessary, have that written consent for the employee for this alternative agreement. Keep in mind, the general idea is for the people to have money when to spend when they actually take the time off, and the legislation is aligned with that.
Even though vacation is a matter that falls under employment standards, best practice tells us that an organization should have a clear vacation policy with processes, communicated to and understood by employees. When hiring new employees, it's recommended to speak to vacation entitlement. While vacation time is an employee's right, the responsibility to ensure employees take the time falls on the employer. Legislation generally requires that vacation is provided in unbroken weekly blocks, but employee can request shorter periods, even down to quarter-day increments, and the employer has the right to agree and approve these requests. Some employers believe if the employee doesn't use or lose their vacation within a required period, that they lose it. But you need to ensure that your employees take the vacation within the allotted period of time. You need to ensure that your employees have that ability to carry over their vacation, even if you have a policy in place that states otherwise, and there is no use it or lose it. Vacation pay must be paid. As with many areas of employment legislation, there are exceptions to vacation as well. There are industries that have special rules, and there are positions or professions that are not entitled to minimum vacation pay at all. There are a couple of considerations to be observed at the end of employment. Depending on when they leave, the company determines what amount of vacation is entitled to them. And the vacation pay would be based on the actual earnings of the employee during that period. Vacation pay is not required on legislated severance or any gratuitous payments offered by the employer.